Hi everyone, welcome to the Sunday Sit. I'm Ross, and the Sunday Sit is a new thing that I'm trying out for July. What we're basically going to be doing is we're going to be meditating together every 8 p.m. where I live. It's 7 p.m. in the UK and it's 2 p.m. Eastern time. Each Sunday in July we're basically going to have a fresh meditation technique. And it's an opportunity for everyone that's been listening to the show recently. The numbers are growing, and an opportunity for everyone to practice meditation. I speak about meditation a lot, and it informs pretty much everything I do. And you might be wondering, if you've been listening to my episodes, you might be wondering what it's really about. How do you do it? How do you get set up? And so on, and maybe you're just curious. This is a Deep Psychology podcast. I'm Ross Edwards, author, coach, podcaster, and avid practitioner and teacher of psychology and spirituality. In listening to this podcast, you're part of the worldwide deep psychology community of tens of thousands of people undertaking profound personal transformation. You can find me on Spotify and Apple, where I release new episodes every Thursday. If you dig what I do and want to help the show grow, share this with a friend and leave a review. You can also go deeper with this work by training with me at deep-psychology.com. Let's get started. What we're going to do is we're going to have a new audio every Sunday at the time mentioned. It's 2 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UK. And what I would encourage you to do is try and practice it. Use the audio every day, Monday to Saturday, and then come back on the Sunday and start again, get a new technique and work on that Monday to Saturday. And try and do this for the whole month of July. Well, it'll be from today, which is the 6th of July, until the final audio on the 27th, and then you can carry that on until the 31st. And just a bit of background, the way I teach meditation is attention-based. It's pretty Buddhist. I suppose you would call it insight meditation if you were to narrow it down. It's sort of Vipassana, mindfulness, insight meditation. Very to the point, very no messing around. It's really about training attention. That's what I consider it. And so the Sunday Sit, I really hope you will join me for July. And what we're going to do this month is we're going to look at breathing meditation. The interesting thing about breathing meditation is that it's very accessible. You know, you don't need to have had lots of experience to do it. Some meditation techniques you do. You don't need a lot of experience. It's quite easy to understand. You just need to practice it. But also, if you are getting into the deep end of the pool with meditation, it's powerful. And it can actually take you all the way to the deep end of the pool if you practice it seriously enough. So, and I'll probably have a range of people who've probably never tried meditation and people who are quite experienced. I've been practicing for nearly a decade. I've got several thousand hours of meditation practice. I've taught it. I'm a qualified teacher. I've taught it to quite a lot of people. I've written lots of articles about it. I've got plenty of articles on the website, deep-psychology.com. I've also got podcast episodes about it if you want to scroll back and find them. But what we're going to do this month is, in the Sunday Sit, is just going to be very practical. I'll give you very practical tips and just the bare techniques, the most fundamental techniques of breathing meditation. And I'll also sort of talk about how to maintain a habit. I'll point you to some resources, and I'll point you to some resources, for example, about meditation myths. And it's really just to get you a good idea of what meditation is about, why you should do it, and the way it can take you, and the things you can discover, which are mind-blowing, frankly. I'm actually writing a book at the moment. I'm about 20,000 words in, and it's basically about the deep end of the meditation pool, or at least an aspect of it. And looking back, it's remarkable where I started, and here I am writing a book about quite topics that only an advanced meditator would probably understand fully. So yeah, this is very powerful. So first of all, with meditation, let's get going with it then. And I'm going to kind of assume that you've never done meditation before. We need a nice posture. So you can sit in a chair, you can sit cross-legged on the floor or on your bed. You can even lie down. That you can get quite sleepy if you lie down. It's not necessarily the best. As long as you feel alert and awake and you feel like you can sit without putting too much effort into it, then you're in a good meditation posture. However you choose to sit or lie down, or you can even kneel, which I often do, we need to follow the 5 points of meditation posture, which is a kind of a little sequence or a little sort of list that I came up with, which is straight, symmetrical, supported, stable, and not straining. So straight, so we're extending up through the back. We're letting our spine be nice and erect. Do this right now, sitting up, extending your body through the spine. Feel that your spine straightens without you having to put much effort into it. Just let the spine do it. You'll notice this is quite effortless. That's the first part, just sitting up nice and straight. Then it's symmetrical. So we want to have, you don't need to do anything fancy with your hands or your legs. Symmetry is really one of the most important things. Can you have everything in a symmetrical position? Because you'll notice it really helps you feel alert. I'm not sure why that happens, but it does, it works. And all good meditation postures are symmetrical. And we're also feeling stable. So as you're sitting here or lying here, you should feel stable. You should feel supported, which is the next one. You feel stable and supported. It should feel like you don't have to strain to keep yourself in this posture. Just let your weight be supported by whatever you're sitting or lying on or kneeling on. Just let your weight be supported. Try not to feel like you're trying to sit up really straight and sit nice and stable and and you're sort of tensing your muscles up. Try and hold as little tension in the body as possible, in the face, in the shoulders, in the arms, in the legs, in the feet. And just let the tension drop. And this isn't about feeling relaxed, dropping our tension. What it's about is the less tension you have in the body, the easier it is, first of all, to just sit here without it being an unpleasant experience. And second of all, it helps you be more present. Tension is a kind of resistance, right? And the more resistance that we have, the more difficult it is to be awake and alert in the present. So we're going to do about 20 minutes here. We're going to do 20 minutes throughout the Sunday sit. To begin, and this is a little warm-up you can do with any meditation, not just breathing meditation. Breathing in nice and deeply through the nose. And gently out through the mouth, and just release all that air that you've just breathed in. And as you do that, feel your body becoming more stable, more supported, and feeling like you are not straining. This is why we're doing it to sort of release the habitual tension we have in our body. And again, deeply in through the nose and then nice and gently out through the mouth. And just feel your weight being supported, feel your body is stable, feel that your body is loose and looser with every breath that you take here. And again. And allow yourself, just as you're breathing out, just to sort of release any hang-ups, any tension, any, the to-do list. Just try and leave that all behind. Give yourself over to right now, which is what we're resisting most of the time, is what's actually happening right now. And again, finally, and I'm not doing this now, but what you can do is you can actually sort of breathe out quite heavily, like and you'll feel that sense of release. This is actually a core part of one of the meditation systems I'm studying at the moment, is really breathing out heavily as you're doing this. So we're going to start with breath at the stomach. Just going to do this for about 20 minutes. Basically, when we breathe in and out, naturally, what happens is that our abdomen expands and contracts. In particular, it's our diaphragm that expands and contracts. The muscle of the diaphragm expands, it draws in air, and then it contracts and it pushes the air out. And I just want you to put your attention in your abdomen area, so chest, stomach area, it depends. Don't worry about exactly where for now, just wherever you're feeling it in that area. And just let yourself breathe. Do not try to breathe. Just breathe, just let your breathing breathe you, so to speak. And as you're breathing, just feeling the rising and falling in this area of your body. And that is our object of focus. That is what we're going to continually come back to when we get distracted. If you notice your attention wanders, bringing it back there, feeling the rising and falling, feeling the entire cycle. Just trying to rest our attention there on the abdomen, feeling the rising and falling. That is the fundamental instruction in breathing meditation, at least this form of it. It really is as simple as that. And just do that. No expectations, not trying to feel a certain way, not trying to go into a certain state, because that really gets in the way. Just do this practice of feeling the in-breath and the out-breath in the abdomen, in the chest or stomach, wherever you feel it, and noticing when your attention wanders, returning it there, trying to really anchor your attention here in our object of focus. As you're sitting here trying to have a stance of equanimity, of non-resistance, of not preferring, of not choosing, of not trying to change your experience, just trying to sit here with everything that's happening for you right now, as it is right now. That might seem like a very sort of trivial point, but it's actually one of the core insights of all meditation. It's right here, right now, as it is. Anytime you notice sort of tension or resistance building up in your body, just loosen that area of your body. We have a natural internal resistance to our experience. And in meditation, that's one of the main things we're working through. You'll likely have thoughts coming up about what's coming next, about the rest of your day, about what's come before, or about things that are happening in your life, your friends, your family, your work. Just want you to recognize that that is a distraction. We don't have to beat away our distractions. These are just a normal thing we have to work with in meditation. The instruction is just to bring it back to the rising and falling of the breath, right? The rising and falling of the breath is what we are trying to be with all the time. Now, that's more of an ideal than something that's easy to do and just immediately accessible. It's more just that is the training that we're doing, trying to anchor our attention there and then notice when it's not there and return it. That is the training. That is what it is. You might also have sounds around you, you might be feeling emotions in your body, you might be feeling muscular sensations and all the rest of it. Anything that grabs your attention is not the breath, is not the object of focus, right? So we're just returning our attention. Paying attention to the breath is not the same as thinking about the breath. It's really important we make that distinction. Whenever you notice you're thinking about the breath, that is also a distraction. What we're trying to do is just feel it, the raw sensation of rising and falling. Now that might also seem like a trivial point, but it's actually not, because we overlay our experience constantly with interpretation and expectations and all the rest of it. Just feeling the rising and falling of the breath. Some habitual reactions to meditation, especially when you're just starting, are on one hand boredom and kind of feeling a bit yucky, feeling sort of discomfort. Now this is where you need equanimity. You need to just allow everything to happen as it is happening, right? And that means literally everything, all emotional states, all thoughts, all everything as it is, allowing it. And seeing all emotions as a distraction and just returning to the breath. On the other hand, you might feel a sense of peace, of joy, of release, of freedom, of lightness, for example. And that is also a pretty natural reaction, and that is not the goal here, okay? It's true that meditation has wonderful benefits. They won't always be apparent to you, and it's not a good idea to pursue feeling good all the time in your meditation, because it's not realistic. However, what it is a sign of something happening. It's a sign that you are just coming into the present. You're just allowing yourself to be right here, right now, right? Which is something we pretty much spend our entire lives avoiding. And this creates all kinds of problems for us, right? We also want to feel different characteristics of the breath. Where is it located? I know you might be feeling it in your abdomen, that might be quite obvious, but really feeling where it's located without having to say where it is. How intense is it? Does the intensity change? Does it move? What's the feeling of the in-breath versus the out-breath? Is there a movement there? What is the sort of flavour of the breath? Does it feel quite dense and light? Does it feel pleasant? Does it feel unpleasant? What does it feel like? Again, you don't have to name that, just feel it as it is. Just like every food has its own flavour, every body experience has its own flavour, and the breath is also, that applies to the breath as well. And volume, where in your direct experience is the breath located, and how much volume does it occupy? Again, we don't need to measure this, with numbers and concepts, just feeling the area it occupies. Location, volume, intensity, change, flavour. So it's simple, but you might be realizing that it's actually difficult to keep returning your attention, to even realize that you're distracted, to really allow your experience to come and go, to feel all these different characteristics of the breath. It's actually quite challenging. And this is a good thing. It should be challenging, because if something is challenging, it means we're doing something new, we're establishing new brain circuitry, we're asking our perception to rewire itself, our brain to rewire itself, we're asking ourselves to change, right? That's why meditation is powerful. It's not just about sitting here and chilling out. We're doing work, right? The more you do this work, the more you will experience the benefits of it as a permanent thing in your life, not just as a temporary thing, as a permanent change. And after about 90 days, you will have permanent brain circuitry associated with the skills that we're working on here. After 30 days, it's starting to establish. After 90 days, it's really firmly established, as long as we're consistent with our practice. The more you meditate, the more it becomes easier to meditate, the more joyful it tends to become, the clearer things are, the clearer your mind is. The more alert you feel, the more present you feel without really having to try. And this spills over into your life. You're just more present, you're more grounded, you're stiller, you're more alert, you're more awake, you're more present, and people will notice this. Fundamentally, you're more in touch with who you actually are, not our false sense of identity. Alright, last few moments, let's give it our all for the last few moments here, trying to keep our attention anchored in our breathing. Alright, just drop that technique, drop the effort, drop the attention, drop everything I've said, and just sit. Just sit there. Alright, feel free to open your eyes and relax the posture and just let go of all that. Alright, so that's the first meditation in our Sunday Sit series. Please leave a comment on Apple or Spotify and let me know how that went. And you can even ask me any questions you have, any comments, any doubts. Please leave a comment and I'll do my best to help you out. And do check out my my archives of meditation articles on the website. If you go to theory and then you search for meditation, a meditation category, in there you'll find them. You'll find tips, you'll find articles on the science of meditation, you'll find articles about different types of meditation, just a lot of information there that I cannot possibly cover in a few minutes. But yeah, if I would encourage you, come back to this every day. Set a time every day where you can do this for 20 minutes. Come back to this episode until Saturday, and then on Sunday come back and learn the next technique, which will be another breathing meditation technique, a little bit more involved than what we did. And again, this seems very simple, but it's not simple, it's challenging, and it also can lead you very far in the meditation journey. So practice it with all your heart and all your attention. Alright, I'm signing off. Thanks a lot, and I'll be back very soon with more episodes, and I'll be back next Sunday with the next installment of the Sunday Sit. Take care. Thanks for listening. If you liked this episode, please leave a review and share with a friend. And if you'd like to go deeper, head to deep-psychology.com to join my training. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon.